I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy.
Welcome all, this is the Australian indie wrestling cast, fellow wrestlers, trainees, event support staff, friends, foes,
and every goddamn thing in between. You understand me now?
If you have a topic, reach out to the Don, Morleone, the Don. How are you, my friend? I know you had an event this weekend.
I am fantastic. I don't know if you noticed, but I've joined the bucket hat crew. Every show we go on, you seem to have a sick bucket hat, and I was going through my closet and found myself my Royal Show Coca-Cola bucket hat, and I thought I'd join the crew. So that's my little addition to the pod today.
May I say it's about goddamn time.
Good. But yes, no, very big weekend. ESPW had a show, we called it Revenge, because there was a lot of revenge style things happening in the show, and it was a little nod to one of my favorite ever wrestling games, WCW NWA Revenge. Did a little bit of play around with that with the graphics and stuff, so that was good fun. The venue, the training school, is looking absolutely top notch at the moment. Always room for improvement, but it's just killing the game at the moment. We've had quite a few really cool matches. So when it comes out at the end of the week or early next week, definitely got to get on there and catch James Hartness and Lizzie Maximus versus DNT. That match was off the hook. Some of our newer, younger guys were in Ultra, Dex Van Diemen and Manu Kaitoa, and they just killed it. Absolutely, were given time and really had a baller of a match. Jay Taylor versus Great George ended in shenanigans, but those guys are always good anytime you watch them wrestle, which is fantastic work. And main event, Robbie Hart versus Delcano for the Pride Championship, Pride of the School of EPW. And it went off. It was great. Those guys are two phenomenal professional wrestlers, and we're lucky enough to have them on ESPW Revenge. Yeah, so make sure you get straight onto it when it comes out.
Yeah, that'll be on YouTube on the ESPW School of Pro Wrestling, and I shall whack a link to that in the thing when it comes out, of course, and probably link it on the Facebook page. But Don, I did notice something from Revenge that is a bit of a personal pet peeve of mine, and we've been through this many times. I bet you can already guess what it is.
No, I'm clueless. I'm waiting for bated breath.
You know how I hate a Fed releasing a worded statement.
Oh yes! I knew it. I actually when we're doing it, I was like, yeah, Scar's gonna hate this. But carry on, please continue.
Well, I know. You know how I hate a revenge. I don't hate revenge. I hate an official statement, and it just goes to show. I think it goes to show a bit of lack of creativity, or that the people that commit themselves to these shows weren't available at the time to cut a 1 or 2 minute promo, just sort of. I know you have some sort of commissioner down there. There was a skinny guy getting around in a suit not that long ago. But even so, I'm sure you yourself or someone of authority,
you will respect my authority,
can tell Ryan Allen that he's suspended in person and make a video of himself. I fucking hate words. I fucking hate have to reading. And the Don, you knew I'd fucking hate this when you made it. So why'd you make it?
I don't like to be the guy that offers excuses. It's just one of those things where when someone goes, why'd you do this? Reasons, but it needed, for my money, it needed to be mentioned, all the things in it to help with the storyline. The other option was that we had at the time was to do nothing. And I felt like
cut some footage together and sort of explain sort of what's going on, as you were mentioning some of the other feds aren't the greatest at earlier.
Oh, was I? Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, point taken. I will no longer defend it. I will accept the criticism and try and move forward and better the product.
Yeah, mate, come on. I know you're better than that. You're better than a written statement, my friend.
I'm taking my licks, all right? You don't have to keep rubbing it in,
All
okay?
right,
We're
well,
going,
let's move.
okay?
Let's move on then, Don. You've
Exactly.
suffered enough. Suffered enough. Well, what we did both catch during the week was PCW is under new management. So I have failed to find out who the new management is. But I tell you what, PCW are putting on a couple of good looking shows lately. So I am quite keen once the weather returns to get down to Ferntree Gully in the semi-warmer months in Melbourne, which is usually after August, September. And I'm keen to get down to a few PCW shows and check it out. I'll probably even have a new e-vehicle by then, which will make it easier to get to. PCW not being PCW is easy to get to, but PCW is not easy to get home from in the public transport. But that is nothing to do with the under new management. That is entirely a problem with the public transport system in the outer suburbs. But PCW is under new management. They're claiming still the same great matches. I even think they've upped it, and it's a little bit better from what I've seen previously. And that's not to disparage the former management of, I think it was Rowdy and a few others. So, because I worked with them and I quite enjoyed my time at PCW with Castone, Lucas Daniels, and crew like that. Got to witness people like JJ Furno, Asia, and Ryan Rapid. So that's where the Ryan Rapid connection comes in for me and why I'm a fan of Ryan Rapid. And so with PCW under new management, I'm thinking, we should all get down there and give it another chance, because obviously it's not the PCW of old. Don, what have you found out about this?
I have found out nothing. I would really need to get into watching their product because they're the only place that does weekly shows. So they're consistently putting out content, and I'd love to see how they run it, how it all goes down, whether it's still more of a live event show or if it's a weekly, television, well, not television, but television show. I need to check it out. Like, I'm hoping soon to be able to force the time to watch it. I do sometimes struggle to watch a bit of wrestling, but as much as I can, I try to.
Yeah, well, being under new management, I wonder if they've done away with some of the few other ideas and sort of progressing forward. But Don, you mentioned you need to see more of PCW to get a better understanding. Now, they're one of the few feds in Australia that have a on-demand service instead of going straight to YouTube. So makes it a little harder to watch, but hopefully the new management will put it straight up to YouTube and sort of build what you can see down there, and why it is worth the effort to get out to Ferntree Gully if you do live, like, say, 20, 30, 40 minutes away from it.
Yeah, I'm still brutally jealous of the fact that their facility is they don't go anywhere. They just hold their shows in the one place, and the setup obviously would be simpler because it's all ready to rock and roll. So
I tell you what, when I was working there, I was probably one of the better paid production guys in Australia working for PCW. I talked to a few wrestlers, and I was making not much more money, but a little bit more money than they were wrestling every week.
Okay.
So fond memories of PCW. Yeah, fond memories.
Good to pay for it. Yeah.
Well, speaking of other people's productions, Don, you caught PWL, Pro Wrestling League Queensland, during the week. Well, a few of the bits and pieces. And what did you think? You had a quick look at the event?
PWL Doomsday. It went live on YouTube at the start of this week, and I had the opportunity to watch some wrestling, and that was the first thing that popped up on YouTube when I turned it over to YouTube. I've tried to subscribe to as many YouTube channels in wrestling as I can, and that one just was there. Didn't have to search for it, which is great. And yeah, I wasn't able to watch the whole thing, just time restraints, and I like to, rather than just skip through anything, I try and watch it as complete as possible so that I can get as much of the information as I can. And I really enjoyed a bit of what I saw. The match between EC Diamond and Zeke and Dino, fantastic, loved it. It was a main event match they had for the second match. It was, yeah, great. Enjoyed every minute of it. I haven't seen a lot of EC Diamond, but I'm impressed. I've only seen a little bit of Zeke and Dino, and again, very impressed. Their work is very good. I think the only way it could get any better is just taking a little bit more time between things. Like, they're very shotgun, boom, 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 stuff, and it's all very good stuff. But just to sell a few things a little bit more, I think. But even saying that, wasn't necessary. But in my opinion, could have happened. I also saw Seth Tyler's versus Craven for the open weight championship. A very good match, very story driven. Seth Tyler's being the younger guy, with Craven being the veteran. Yeah, great match.
Just quickly to jump in there, I did see Craven during the week mentioning that the Interstate Pro Wrestling League event taking place, tickets are selling fast, and that if you are interested, the Chaos at the Coffs, is it?
Yeah, Chaos in Coffs.
Chaos in Coffs. Yeah, I did see a couple of posts from the Pro Wrestling League Queensland crew that said this show is selling out fast. So if you wish to be there, get your tickets now. If not, sooner, or when you get your paycheck, make sure you got the money to put aside and get on that, because that's going to be something different. You always know when a company travels, they go a bit harder.
Yes, they were trying to, especially their first time in Coffs Harbour, they really want to stake their claim as like quality, good
and maximize return on crowd, and put a really good word of mouth out there. So I think if you do intend to go on that, even though it is a fair few months away, hell, it's longer away than WWE, which you can't get tickets to now, but you can get tickets to Pro Wrestling League Chaos in the Coffs. So I would get on that now before I got on the WWE tickets.
Yes. So the only thing I was just going to say lastly before we move on from Pro Wrestling League, that was the last match I saw, Seth Tyler's versus Craven. It seems to me, from watching it, there's a bit of a history they're trying to work with in the Queensland scene. Like, they've got guys from QWA. They were very proudly wearing their stuff on a Pro Wrestling League show, talking about, I think they talked about Wide Bay, I think with the connection with Todd Eastman. There may have been more information later after the Craven versus Seth Tyler's match. But the first half of the show, they were continually talking about Jesse Daniels owning half of Pro Wrestling League because of some underhanded tactics, and then the AWA Tag Team Championships. And there seems to be a lot of history there that, for, again, being a casual viewer, someone who's just turned on Pro Wrestling League and trying to get into it, that is unexplained. And I know you can't spend half the show sitting there explaining any of the history between certain people and stuff, and the commentators were talking about it quite a bit. But I would love to know, again, as an outsider and not someone who's constantly a part of the shows and constantly up to date with all the Queensland scene, what is that history there? What is I don't even know what the AWA is, and I know, again, that's the point of the podcast for me to learn more and more. It said it's a Fed that's closed, and I think they mentioned that Jesse Daniels ran it or owned it, and they were bringing back these championship belts. Maybe I'm talking more directly to the commentators, or maybe the people who put together video packages and stuff. But yeah, I want to know more information about this. Like I was left wanting. Maybe that was a plan. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's to help keep interest in what's happening, sort of like what's going on. But
Keeping the viewer uninformed is never a good thing.
well, true, but then maybe that's just me trying to be like, well, I'd like to learn about this, but yeah, just more information. Like I'd love to know the things that were mentioned, and they were said from a perspective of, oh, you already know because you're a huge fan. One thing I've always been told, even especially just when planning matches, you got to tell the audience. Imagine everyone is watching for the first time.
Yeah.
Let them know what is happening, how it's going on, who's the bad guy, who's the good guy. Just that way, it makes it easier to become invested in the whole thing. Again, not taking shots because, as I say, there was a lot of information there, but like this is something from someone watching first time. Like, tell me more.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Tell me more. Carry on. Sorry. Reference.
Did you watch Grease lately? Taking shots. I'll take some shots. Have about a 1 or 2 minute promo package before every match. I mean, you are filming these events. There's no question about that, PWL. You are filming these events. They are going up on YouTube, so it's not as if you don't have the footage. Even if you've lost the footage, you can download it from YouTube and reuse it, re-edit it. Just do that 2 to 1 minute video package. It makes your videos look more cooler. It gives the crowd there on the night a better understanding of the match and where they're coming from. So, Don, I'll put this on both of us because I don't want you to take all the heat from this since I'm handing out the fucking shots here. Just give as the Don says, like, we want to know. We're in Melbourne. We're in Perth. We're not in Queensland. We're not getting along to every event. Hell, I don't even know who Kaitoa is apparently. So we need to know with a few more video packages who these people are. And so a bit more on the comments about Kaitoa next week that I received from people. But what I must bring up is what we were meant to start with.
Yes.
Carlo Cannon has been detained
in Malaysia.
And now this is an official statement regarding it from Carlo Cannon and My Pro Wrestling Malaysian Pro Wrestling, which Carlo is currently the champion of. Firstly, this is what he says. Firstly, I want to apologise to all the fans that purchased tickets just to see me perform. I'm absolutely heartbroken and feel like I've let everyone down. To be honest, you've let no one down. It's just circumstances, hey.
100%, yeah.
For the past 24 hours, due to an issue with my passport that Melbourne Airport dismissed, I have been detained, put in a cell, and had to wait with no food. Now, that's got to be hell for a man like Carlo having no food, hey?
Yeah, that dude has the size of a guy who eats...
It's like six meals a day or something, hey?
Yeah.
All right, in a good way, yeah. He goes on to say, I was yelled at, treated like a criminal when I had done nothing wrong and witnessed a lot of full-on things in this time. As a traumatic and full-on as this has been, nothing weighs in comparison to how heartbroken I am that he missed this show. And that just shows the dedication of Carlo Cannon. It means a lot to me to be a part of My Pro Wrestling and my life as of late. So it means a lot to be a part of My Pro Wrestling and having it in my life as of late. I was banking on this show as a source of joy and the fans and the crew there that mean the world to me. Am I okay? No. But will I be? And I promise I will be back within the next show. So unfortunately, it sounds like Carlo's had a little bit of a hiccup at Melbourne Airport. Gone to Malaysia at the My Pro Wrestling, and the Malaysian authorities have stopped him dead in his tracks due to his passport.
Yeah.
And locked him up. Now, I know from recollection, I think JXT was deported from the US.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head who's had such bad luck heading over somewhere to, but this pretty much caps it. Hey, getting thrown in a Malaysian jail, no food, you know, just basically all that shit. Don, have you ever heard of anything like this before? And what would you do if it happened to you?
The only experience I've ever had with it was going into the US once. There was a man of Middle Eastern descent a little in front of me, and he got taken into a room. That's the closest I've ever come to seeing anyone be detained. And yeah, I felt bad for him, but yeah, I couldn't think of anything worse. Like I get quite nervous traveling overseas. Not for any particular reason. It's just you just don't know. You don't want to have had something, or I don't travel with food or anything like that. You don't know what they're going to sort of pick up on if you've done something slightly incorrect, and especially a foreign country where you don't speak the language. Yeah, anything can happen. We shouldn't let it stop us from traveling internationally. And my, thoughts go out to Carlo. Hope everything comes up good for him in the end. And yeah, with it, again, not knowing 100% what went wrong. Yeah, with the passport, I just hope my passport's okay when I travel overseas as well. It doesn't sound like a good day.
Well, Don, is that why you stick to the Disney princess tours around the coast of Australia? No,
I can't wait for my next.
That's right.
Love that.
Love that shit. Good to see.
Yeah.
Good to see. Well, Don, something you're also gonna love. STW, Southern Territory Wrestling. You are in line for a title shot. You were meant to be at a meeting with gorgeous Garry and the illustrious, always great on camera Luther. Don, what happened? You didn't show up for that meeting.
Yeah, why would I show up? They continually disrespect me and don't give me what I ask for. And then they ask me to provide my presence at a meeting. All they do is sign a bit of paper, put me in the match. I don't need to be there. Simple as that.
Fuck, just put an X on it and you'll be there, won't you?
I'm ready for it. I don't need. But now, stipulation is, one of us is never allowed back at STW after Destined for Victory.
Yes, loser leaves STW, so that'll be an interesting match for you. And is it 2 weeks, Don? 2 weeks?
2 weeks. Well, yeah, depending on the time of this being released, 1.5 to 2 weeks. But what a week for Perth Wrestling. New Horizon Pro Wrestling have a show on at the same time, and EPW have Winter Warfare on at the exact same time. So, wrestling fans in Perth, you have a buffet of professional wrestling. You can make a choice and go to any of them.
Either that, or you can be a bunch of tribal cunts and just go to the one you love. Anyway, speaking of tribal, what I want to do over the next few weeks is take a deeper dive into the RCW, ACW feud that's happening in Adelaide at the moment. That's really caught my attention, as next week is RCW 300, and that's a bit of a play on the old 300. You know how much I love a crossover, Don, and a big fucking A4 piece of paper writing. But I really need to deep dive into ACW versus RCW, because I think there's something really special going on there that maybe some of us are snoozing on. Because we're all about worlds collide. We're all about hidden doors or forbidden doors or back doors. Well, I'm not so much about back doors, but RCW versus ACW is something I'm interested in. Down Under has bought ACW. Deep Pockets Down Under has bought ACW. I wonder if he's bought PCW. I wonder if Deep Pockets has bought PCW as well, and he's the new manager there.
Yeah, he's interstate. It's like saying I'm international, but I'm interstate.
Yeah, that's right.
I I doubt it. I think he's got enough.
I think he's got enough on his plate with trying to revive ACW, and I do mean revive. An amazing job he's doing of reviving ACW, because 6 months ago, I mean, you wouldn't have paid it much attention, but now ACW, it's right at the forefront of conversations about Australian pro wrestling. Hey.
Yeah, that's great. Good stuff. But yeah, there's a lot going on, and do you know if they're releasing all their stuff on YouTube, or is it just sort of...
Yes, they are. Between RCW and ACW, they are releasing everything on YouTube. So you can follow it like serial programming and stuff like that. So that's
is this a response to all the flack you've been getting about not knowing Kaitoa?
Well, it does. I did take some flack not knowing who Kaitoa was, and I do know who Kaitoa was, and I know he was in RCW, and but what I didn't know he was a 2-time tag team champion. But I was watching Wrestle Rampage, right? Let me just see if I've got this on both of us. Yeah, I do. I was watching Wrestle Rampage, and I feel I've got to judge it on the information and the show that night provides.
Yeah.
Right? That night, they provided the information that he was a debutant. So I treated him like a debutant. Now, if they had said, hey, he's from RCW, he's a 2-time tag team champion, might have given him a bit more weight. Might have given him a bit, might have explained more why he went 20 minutes with Tommy Knight. But I still stand by what I said last week, that Tommy Knight gave him way too much. That match was way too long as an introductory to a debutant into the Wrestle Rampage show, not RCW. Yep. It's not RCW versus ACW versus Wrestle Rampage yet. Maybe it will be one day. It's RCW versus... Yeah, who knows? It's RCW versus ACW. So I went off what Wrestle Rampage was presenting. They presented him as a debutant against Tommy Knight. Now, in the lore of Australian wrestling, Tommy Knight's a bit of a king of the Indies, bit of a king of the Australian Indies.
A little bit.
You don't expect this younger guy to cause much problems as a debutant for the first night against Tommy Knight. Now, there's ways of being resilient without taking 20 minutes.
Yeah.
There's ways of being resilient without taking Tommy Knight's brainbuster from the top rope and kicking out after a sharp 2 count. And that's what I'm getting at. So I can only go what's presented on the night. And that's why, 100%. And that's why I didn't include, and if he'd been in Wrestle Rampage before, I probably would have put that into account as well. But he hadn't. He was a debutant. There were a lot of debutants on that night. Reezy, the commentator.
But as it comes back to, just assuming people know things.
Yeah, again, assuming people know things, maybe a highlight package of what Kaitoa had done around on the Australian wrestling indie scene wouldn't have gone astray. But I mean, as a thing to compare, Tommy Knight, been in Ring of Honor, AEW, World Series Wrestling, MCW, Slam. Now, to give Kaitoa a 20-minute match as a debutant, just lets down the lore of Tommy Knight, and sort of lets down the fans who paid to see Tommy Knight return, and then that's the kind of match that was put on. And that's really all I'm going to say about that. I think I think I've covered that to death. I've covered the comments that I received online, in person, and a few people started the thing thumbs up for Kaitoa I caught during the week. Hey, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I hope not. I hope he wasn't feeling that down about it, that people had to get their thumbs up around him,
Yeah. And why is it? I don't know. I'm going to go out of my way and watch it this week to see how it goes, to see how it looked. so I haven't caught it yet. But yeah, no, it's fine. He had the match. Like, what is it? It's not a band around him sort of. You know, he'll just wrestle again and do more wrestling. It's great.
He's
it's fine.
young. He'll wrestle again, and I'm sure one day he'll win that heavyweight title belt, and we'll all applaud him, and you can all tell me how wrong I was. But, you know, it brings me to the point. Don, you were probably a bigger kid growing up, if that's fair to say, like bigger than the rest of the kids in your class.
Not everyone, but yeah, no, I definitely wasn't
above average, shall we say. Well, like, I was a skinny kid in class with my disabilities and stuff.
Yep.
And there's no fucking way that when that lunch bell rang that I would come up and challenge you for your lunch money. You just don't see that shit in the real world, hey?
No. You see the skinny kids fighting the other skinny kids for lunch money, maybe, but yeah, definitely not. It's always the bigger kid picks on the littler one for the lunch money.
That's right, and that's sort of how I viewed the match in the end. But you know, that it is what it is. I said what I said, and I stand by it.
Mm-hmm.
Don,
that's it. Yeah.
Let's get a bit more positivity going with a wrap around the weekend. Start off with RCW 300, would you?
So RCW 300 in Adelaide. Get out there and check that out. Then we go to New South Wales. Integrity Sports Wrestling presents Infinity on the 13th of June. Australian Wrestling Superstars have a show on the 14th of June. Australian Wrestling Entertainment Winter Warfare. Oh, it's another Winter Warfare on Saturday, June 14th. I say that because on the 21st, ESPW presents Winter Warfare. But we continue.
Yeah, mate. You act like you own Collision Course, hey?
Everybody owns Collision Course.
Yeah, how fucking proudly, yeah.
Yeah, and then All Star Wrestling Australia has a Night to Remember 6 on the 14th of June. Victoria, we move over to Professional Championship Wrestling. They conduct their weekly show Slam on Thursday, June the 12th. Adrenaline Pro Wrestling has Breakout 56 on the 13th of June. And Renegades of Wrestling are holding Indestructible on the 15th of June, which I imagine brings about another match with Indy Hartwell. And then also in Queensland, Impact Pro Wrestling at Seabus Super Stadium for the Gold Coast Titans versus Manly Sea Eagles NRL pre-show entertainment. See, we're just talking about PWA promoting a rugby pre-show
at the CommBank Stadium.
And
not to be outdone.
Impact Pro Wrestling Australia have a rugby pre-show. And look, I don't know who was first. I don't know if anyone copied. I don't know if it's but it's cool. It's good for Australian wrestling. Like I
don't think it matters who copies. I just think it matters if we get good wrestling out there, so people will come to the shows. That's pretty much all that matters, and that's who I've been from day one. And people who have interacted me know this. Get good wrestling out there. Don't fucking put your D-grade Fed in front of 16,000 people at a rugby crowd. That's going to do you nothing. Don't put your super skinny guys in front of guys that could whip their ass in the crowd and still be holding their fucking beer. But from the look of Impact Pro Wrestling at the Queensland, it looked like it was on the field in the corner. So it did look like they did have a good something going good on there. So hopefully it's more of what we get to see in New South Wales and Queensland, them being the rugby states. I very much doubt you'll see it on an AFL show because the amount of time it would take to pack up and pack down a ring during an AFL is fucking just not going to happen during those breaks.
Yeah, and who wants to wrestle at an AFL show anyway?
Well, that's it. It's the middle of the winter.
Sorry. Anyway, so that was the wrap around the country. Plenty of wrestling in New South Wales, Victoria, and Queensland. And thanks everyone for tuning in. Make sure if you want to see and hear more of Australian indie wrestling, like and subscribe. if you would like to support your favorite wrestler, make sure you buy their merch. Money goes straight to them. Please get out, watch some wrestling. Your ticket is just helping fund the next pro wrestling show, helping fund the guy.
We've got a few specials coming out over the new week on wrestlers on television. So
keep an eye out for those. We have already released wrestlers in commercials. So if you have some footage of a wrestler an Australian pro wrestler who is in a television commercial anywhere in the world, television show, anything, any sort of outside of wrestling appearances, we'd love to see it, and we'll smash it into a video and present it in live and living color. It's great. Good stuff. Anyway, thanks very much for tuning in. See you next week.
Like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power.
I did exactly what I said I was going to do. Del Carno is now the Pride champion for 728 days plus one. As the greatest champion that Western Australia has ever seen, it is my duty to give opportunities to those less fortunate than I. So in 2 weeks' time, June 21st, Darwin, Northern Territory, Top End Wrestling. Send me your best, and I will show them that they may be good, but they are not Del Carno.